A team looking for their first win, still a team that Ken is the voice of, the Rock Island Rocks, traveling to Geneseo. Just 3 points last weekend, but what can you see from this Rock Island team opening up Western Basics play against the Green Machine?
Well, it is a different scenario for Rock Island. They played two teams that are very good, that are expected to be in the postseason because they are pretty much every year. That was their 0-2 start. Okay, Rock Island was not able to challenge those teams at all. Okay, they weren't able to get the running game going. Passing game, they had a backup quarterback in week 1, a guy making his season debut in week 2, and Miles Deuster. They do have one very top-notch discernible weapon offensively, and that's wide receiver Evan Ellis. What we've seen so far is teams like to double cover him to limit his productivity. Can they break loose a little bit against Geneseo? I'm expecting to see that guy getting double covered as well. Geneseo is kind of your prototypical, and Joe, you chime in on this, say what you think, but the prototypical kind of average football team, right? They're pretty good. They're not great. They're not bad. They will fight hard in every game. And so it's really a question of, is Rock Island going to be able to show some improvement against a team that is probably not as good as their first two opponents, but what can they do against the Geneseo? We're going to have to wait and see. The quarterback is going to need to develop some more, right? And offensively, they got to be able to get some kind of a running game going, which they just haven't been able to do so far.
And they're going to have to stop the run also. Geneseo's got 2 of the top 4 rushers in the league, and you look at the stats. One of them is a well-known name, Kai Weinzerl, 181 yards on the ground. Jackson McAvoy, though, only one of 3 players over 200 with 270 on the season so far. And they got a really good win. They got touched up pretty good against Rochelle in week 1. Rochelle's a good team, probably a playoff team, should be a playoff team this year. But in week 2, they played Assumption. They hosted them, and that game was weird. It was like 6-3, and then all of a sudden, I remember looking at the score, 15 minutes later, all of a sudden it was like 23-10 Geneseo. There were some crazy special teams plays, but that was a good win for them. Assumption's a team that's I would assume, and over in Iowa, flirt with a playoff spot. So that's a good win for those guys. But I think the biggest thing for Rocky is going to be stopping the run. Geneseo's going to line up. Coach Furlong for them coming from Cary Grove. They're going to line up. They're going to get downhill. They're going to run the football, and that's going to be something Rocky's going to have to deal with on Friday night. I was going to ask you, I think, for Rock Island, what the steps for them, don't you agree, is just finding confidence, finding to be competitive? Because I think that's probably the one thing that has not gone what they would want them to in these first couple of weeks, is they just haven't really been able to have a shot. I mean, they got down quickly against Canelan, right? And then against Dunlap, it seemed the same way. I'm sure the thing for you that you're going to look for early is just to have any sort of momentum in the game is going to be important, right?
Coming off a 1-8 season, you want to try to build some confidence. It's tough to do when you're playing your first 2 opponents are perennial playoff schools that are expected to beat you in that situation. And that's exactly what happened. One thing that might help Rocky is they may be able to make some adjustments defensively to really stack up against the run, because Geneseo, unless they do something radically different from the first 2 weeks, is not really going to throw the ball. They literally have -2 passing yards through 2 weeks. So they're not a throwing team by any means. They're going to come at you on the ground. Rocky's got to be ready for that. But maybe they can, adjust some personnel or some schemes to try to box in Geneseo a little bit and see what they can do to slow them down.